Most of the internet will tell you your dog is dreaming about chasing rabbits. That might be true. It is also the boring version of the answer. The more interesting version starts in a sleep lab in Budapest, where for the past decade, a small group of scientists has been doing something that sounds strange until you picture it. They bring in family dogs, not lab dogs, not trained research animals, regular dogs, Labradors, Beagles, Terriers, mixed little clouds of fur with names their owners say in that exact voice people only use for dogs. Then, they place small EEG sensors on the dog's head. They look almost harmless, like stickers you might see on a child at the doctor. The owner stays nearby at first. The dog sniffs the room, maybe circles once, maybe looks back at the human just to make sure this is still allowed. And then the dog lies down on a couch. That is the part that makes this whole thing feel different from what people imagine when they hear the word study. Nobody is opening the dog's brain. Nobody is shocking them awake. Nobody is forcing them into some cold metal machine. They are just waiting for a dog to fall asleep. A scientist sits quietly and watches a screen. Let's say the dog is a 5-year-old Labrador named Tuffy. Nothing dramatic, just a normal dog with soft ears, a tired body, and no idea that a room full of humans is trying to understand what happens inside him when the world turns off. For a while, the screen looks calm. Then, about 20 minutes after Tuffy falls asleep, something changes. The pattern becomes irregular. His breathing gets shallow. Under his closed eyelids, his eyes start moving quickly from side to side. His paws twitch. Maybe one back leg kicks once, then stops. Maybe his lips move. Maybe a tiny sound comes out of him, not quite a bark, more like a bark that forgot to become one. And if you have ever watched your own dog sleep, you know this moment. You sit there and wonder, where are they? What are they seeing? Are they running? Are they afraid? Are they happy? Are they somewhere with you? In humans, this is the stage where dreams happen most vividly. Rapid eye movement sleep, REM sleep. The brain becomes active. The body becomes still. The eyes move beneath the lids as if watching something no one else can see. And in dogs, the pattern looks surprisingly familiar. The same restless waves, the same eye movement, the same strange little battle between a brain that wants to move and a body being held in place by a small part of the brainstem doing its quiet job. Because during dreams, the body has to be partly paralyzed. Otherwise, sleep would not be sleep. It would be rehearsal. This is where the popular story usually stops. People say, pointers point in their sleep. Dobermans chase burglars. Puppies run after invisible toys. Your dog is simply replaying the day. Cute, easy, move on. But that is exactly where the better question begins. The old dream research goes back to a French scientist named Michel Jouvet, who studied the brainstem circuits that keep the body still during REM. In cats, when that system was disrupted, the animals appeared to act out their dreams. They moved through sleep like they were hunting something only they could see. We have not done that experiment in dogs, and hopefully we are not going to, but the same basic circuit exists in your dog. So when your dog's paws paddle in the air, when their nose twitches, when that small sleeping bark slips out, you may be watching a dream leak through the body. Just a little, just enough to remind you that something is happening in there. But the real question is not whether dogs dream. The real question is what kind of day follows them into the dark. Because the scientists in Budapest did not stop at watching dogs sleep. They wanted to know if a dog's sleep changes after joy, and if it changes after stress. They wanted to know whether the couch, the walk, the voice, the silence, the separation, the look on your face, all of it somehow follows your dog into sleep. And that is where the rabbit answer starts to fall apart. So the researchers did something very simple and emotionally very difficult. They gave the dogs 2 different afternoons. One afternoon was the good one. The owner played with the dog. There were soft voices, body contact, belly rubs, maybe a ball, maybe a few happy little rituals the dog already understood. Nothing dramatic, just the kind of afternoon that tells a dog, the world is readable, My person is here. I know what this means. Then, on another day, they created a bad afternoon. Not violent, not cruel, but uncomfortable in the exact way dogs understand discomfort. The owner sat in front of the dog and stopped responding. No eye contact, no touching, no voice, no smile. The dog tried to engage, and the human became a wall. This is called a still face test. And if you are imagining your own dog in that situation right now, then you already understand why it matters. Because dogs are not just listening to what we say, they are watching whether we are still available. They read tiny changes in our face, our shoulders, our breathing, our hands, the way we enter a room. A dog can tell the difference between you walking into the kitchen and you walking into the kitchen because dinner is about to happen. They notice the shift before you do. So when the owner becomes still, the dog does not experience that as nothing happened. Something happened. The signal disappeared. After that, the study added more stress. A stranger approached the dog in a slightly threatening way. Then came a brief separation. Then the dog was allowed to sleep. And this is where the screen in the sleep lab told a story nobody expected. After the bad afternoon, the dogs entered REM sleep faster, significantly faster. That is the part you have to sit with for a second. Because in humans, stress often pushes REM away. A hard day can delay it. Anxiety can break it up. The mind stays alert, guarded, unfinished. But in these dogs, after an emotionally difficult experience, the brain seemed to move toward REM more quickly, as if the dog needed to get there, as if dreaming was not just entertainment, as if REM was a room the brain entered when something had to be worked through. After a hard day, your dog does not run away from the dream. Your dog runs toward it. And once you understand that, the little twitching paws on the couch start to feel different. Maybe your dog is not just chasing something outside. Maybe your dog is trying to make sense of something that happened inside the relationship. The moment you left too quickly, the moment your voice got sharper than usual, the moment the walk was shorter because rain started, the moment your dog brought a toy and you did not notice. Not because dogs keep score the way humans do. They do not sit there writing emotional invoices, but their nervous system remembers patterns: warmth, silence, return, distance, safety, confusion, and sleep may be where some of those patterns are sorted. But the Budapest researchers went one step further. They asked a sharper question. If REM changes after emotional stress, what does REM actually do for the dog? So in another study, they did not simply disturb the dog's sleep randomly. They disrupted specific stages. They interrupted REM sleep while leaving other kinds of sleep mostly intact. Then they tested something dogs are usually brilliant at: reading human emotion. Not just seeing a face, not just hearing a voice, but matching the feeling in the face with the feeling in the sound. An angry face with an angry voice. A human expression with a human emotional signal. And after REM was disrupted, the dogs got worse at it. They could still see. They could still hear. They could still recognize people. But something thinner, more delicate, started to fray. The bridge between human emotion and canine understanding was not as strong. When non-REM sleep was disrupted in the same way, the effect did not appear. So REM was not just background maintenance. It was not just the brain taking out the trash. It was part of how dogs stayed fluent in us. That is the strange and beautiful part. There may be a stage of your dog's sleep where the work being done is not only about memory, or stress, or movement. It is about connection. It is about waking up tomorrow still able to read the person they love. So when REM is taken away, dogs do not just lose sleep. They lose a small part of their ability to understand us. And that brings us to the quieter part of sleep. Because REM is not the whole story. There is another stage, calmer and deeper, where the body looks less dramatic. No fast eye movement, fewer little kicks, less visible evidence that anything important is happening. But inside the brain, something is being written down. In another study, from the same world of dog sleep research, scientists taught family dogs something new. Not a brand new behavior exactly, but a new word for a behavior the dog already knew. A dog who already understood sit might learn the same command in another language. The lesson happened during the day. Then, the dog took a nap, and while the dog slept, the researchers watched for tiny bursts of brain activity called sleep spindles. They happen during non-REM sleep. They are quick little flashes in the sleeping brain, and in humans, they are connected to learning and memory. The interesting part is that dogs showed something similar. The dogs with more sleep spindles remembered the new commands better when they woke up. The dogs with fewer spindles struggled more. So now, the picture becomes even stranger. REM may help your dog process emotional signals and stay connected to you. Non-REM may help your dog store what the day taught them, which means the training session you did in the afternoon may not really finish in the afternoon. It may finish hours later, while your dog is curled beside the couch, breathing softly, turning your voice into memory. And this is where the whole idea changes. Your dog does not have a diary. Your dog cannot sit at the end of the day and say, "That scared me," or "That made me happy," or "I did not understand why you left," or "I liked when you came back and touched my head." They cannot organize the day with language, so the brain does it another way. It takes the walk, the rain, the door closing, the treat, the tone of your voice, the stranger on the street, the command you repeated 3 times, the way your face looked when you came home tired, and it sorts all of it in the dark. This does not mean every twitch is a deep emotional movie. Sometimes, a paw twitch is just a paw twitch. Sometimes your dog probably is chasing something. A ball, a squirrel, a smell, some wild little scene only a dog brain could invent. But the deeper answer is that dreams may not be random entertainment for them. Sleep may be one of the ways your dog keeps a life with you organized. That is why this should change how you look at the small moments. The 5-minute walk still matters. The calm voice matters. The soft repair after you lose patience matters. The little routine before bed matters. Not because you have to become a perfect owner. You will not. Nobody is. But because your dog's brain is paying attention to the emotional weather you create. And later, when the house is quiet, some part of that weather may come back. So if your dog seems to be having a bad dream, be gentle. Do not shake them hard. Do not drag them out of sleep like you are rescuing them from another world. Maybe say their name softly. Maybe let your voice become the bridge back. Because if REM helps them process emotion, then that sleep is not nothing. It is work. Quiet work. The famous answer is rabbits. The simple answer is their day. But the deeper answer is you. They are dreaming about the day they had with you. They are dreaming about the world where your voice means home, where your footsteps mean something is about to happen, where your face is one of the most important signals in the room. They are not just sleeping near you, they are carrying you into sleep. So tonight, when your dog's paws start moving, when their nose twitches, when that tiny sleeping sound slips out, do not rush to explain it away. Maybe somewhere inside that little sleeping brain, the day is opening again. And somewhere inside that day, there you are. Now I want to know something. When your dog looks like they are having a nightmare, do you wake them up? Or do you let them sleep? Tell me which side you are on, and tell me why. Because after this, I do not think that question feels small anymore.